All right, I was going to have this video right here be the last video I uploaded for the day, and then I was going to pack it in, have a nice relaxing evening, and then I saw this. This guy's name is Robert Morris. Robert Morris is the pastor of a mega church called Gateway Church. This is their website right here. Well, turns out Robert assaulted a young person in a very, very bad way. Now, we've heard of qualified immunity. We've heard of prosecutorial immunity. We've heard of congressional and judicial immunity. I didn't know there was such a thing as clerical immunity. The reason I wanted to do this video right here is because it doesn't seem there's a sufficient amount of outrage about this. I mean, I don't see anybody aggressively going after this guy to put him in jail. All they're calling for is for him to step down and be fired from his position as a pastor. I'm going to go through a couple of these news stories because you got to hear this. This is the truth is stranger than fiction kind of garbage.
Megachurch founder and pastor Robert Morris has admitted to moral failings following accusations.
Admitted to moral failings. Now, we talk about euphemisms all the time. Could you be a little bit more specific, Mr. Morris, about the moral failings you're alluding to?
Of sexual abuse of a child published online this past Friday. Our Andrea Lucia reports the church leaders say they were aware of what happened.
And this went on for years, and people were aware of it in the church leadership, and the church is still open and thriving. What the frick
happened?
So God heals, God redeems.
Based in Southlake, Gateway Church is one of the country's largest megachurches.
So you can't redeem yourself.
With about 100,000 people attending every weekend and 9 locations.
100,000 people? 9 locations? It's in a gazillion countries?
Spread throughout North Texas. Founder and senior pastor Robert Morris reaches even larger audiences in a weekly program posted online and broadcast in more than 190 countries.
It's been pretty devastating.
For Cindy Clemishire, seeing his influence grow has been difficult.
Or how on earth could anyone let him be in leadership when they knew what he did to me?
She was 12 years old when she says Morris began molesting her. He and his wife were friends of her parents who would often stay over. And the abuse, she says, continued for 4.5 years.
He said, "You can never tell anyone because it will ruin everything."
In a statement from the church this weekend.
Years. And are you going to sit there and tell me, or is mainstream media going to sit there and try to tell us that he's never done it again? We're going to see some statements that his public relations team has released to the media, and it's just unbelievable.
Morris admits to what he describes as inappropriate sexual behavior with a young lady.
She was a kid, a 12-year-old kid.
Several years in his 20s.
Young lady? I was not a young lady. I was a little girl. I was 12.
The admission came after a blog called The Wartburg Watch shared Clemishire's story. Morris himself describes kissing and petting, not intercourse.
How could you even think about that? Entertain a thought of it, let alone going through it with your actions. How could you do it? And then call yourself a pastor, a man of God, and then lead God's flock to holiness and righteousness?
Current law, that's still behavior that could qualify as continuous sexual abuse of a young child.
Could qualify? What are these people talking about here?
I'm punishable by life in prison. Clemishire says she eventually told her father, who demanded Morris step down from his position at a church that's now Gateway's Grand Prairie campus. Morris says for 2 years he did step down to receive counseling and ministry before returning in 1989 with the full blessing of the elders. Decades later, Clemishire says it's a relief her story is finally out.
Oh, I definitely think the consequences are probably starting. I mean, people know the truth. I know that there's got to be consequences.
Yeah,
In a statement, church elders
Listen to
said
this.
that Morris has been open and forthright with them about what they describe as a moral failure on his part, and that he has, in the decades since, quote, walked in purity. No criminal charges have ever been filed in connection to this, and it's unlikely any...
Oh, yeah, I totally believe it. The only statement that they should be saying is we're absolutely disgusted. We're going to press charges and make sure this pig goes to jail for life. Listen to this other story here.
Gateway Church just confirmed that Pastor Robert Morris is out days after a woman revealed that he sexually abused her when she was 12 years old. Cole Sullivan is in our newsroom with more details on what just happened and what it means.
And this is a big deal. Morris founded the church based in Southlake, which says it has 100,000 weekly attendees. He even served as a spiritual advisor to former President Trump. But Morris faced increasing pressure and scrutiny that started over the weekend. That's when a woman came forward saying the pastor had sexually abused her in the 1980s.
And he admits it. He admits to doing it.
She was 12 at the time it started, she says, and says it went on for years. In a statement just this afternoon, Gateway Church says its elders knew Morris had an affair in the past, but did not know the victim's age or how long it went on.
BS. I don't believe that for 1 second. Now, while that woman who was a 12-year-old girl at the time, while her father's alive, I bet he made a bunch of waves. I bet a lot of people knew about it, and they kept pushing it under the rug, protecting their pastor, their perverted pastor.
Multiple times, including in this 2014 clip, Morris has talked from the pulpit about his past, quote, immorality.
I looked for girls that did not have a good relationship with their father. I learned to spot that. I looked for girls that were insecure. And I don't know, now I look back on this, I can tell I did it. It wasn't like a plan that I had, but I could spot.
This guy is a sicko. Step down. How about step into an orange jumpsuit? Step into a jail cell for the rest of your life. Step down.
Now, church leaders say, quote, we are heartbroken and appalled by what has come to light over the past few days. We know many have been affected by this. We understand that you are hurting, they say, and we are very sorry. The church says it has hired a law firm to look into the abuse. Reaction is still coming in to Pastor Morris's resignation right now, and we'll keep you updated.
Okay, here's the next one.
One of the largest churches in the Dallas area is responding to allegations that he molested a child in the 1980s. Robert Morris, who preaches at Gateway Mega Church, admitted he engaged in inappropriate sexual behavior, but he said
Inappropriate. Just total perversion. This guy was, and probably still is, more than likely still is, a predator.
as he sought forgiveness and counseling. Reporter Matt Houston spoke with his accuser, who questions whether he is truly repentant.
Cindy Clemashire read from Genesis Sunday.
As for you, you meant evil against me, but God meant it for good, to bring it about that many people should be kept alive as they are today.
That's the 54-year-old's prayer, that her story would bring about some good. She accuses Gateway Church pastor Robert Morris of molesting her from 1982 to 1987.
And let's just be clear, and he admits that he did it.
The first time, she says, she was 12. Morris, a family friend, was in his early 20s, already married, already preaching.
The story...
Betraying a friend, living in the friend's house, and doing bad things to his daughter. That's the kind of guy he is.
is gut-wrenching when I read it on paper, and I've been sharing for years. So it just happens to be God's time, I think, for it to come to light.
In a statement, Morris admits to inappropriate sexual behavior with a young lady, though he did not reference her age. It was kissing and petting, he said, and not intercourse, but it was wrong. In 1987, Clemashire says she told a family friend who told her to tell her parents.
He didn't come forward and confess. He was turned in. And when someone's turned in...
I wonder what's really going on here, because I don't hear any of the journalists for mainstream media asking, is what he said true? Is just petting and no intercourse? I mean, is that part true? Nobody's asking that question.
What are they sorry for? Are they sorry because they got caught, or are they truly repentant of what they did?
No, we'll just go ahead and answer that question right now. Typically, it's they're sorry that they got caught. And with the pastor, he's the top of the church, and a stream can rise no higher than its source. If you belong to this church and you didn't quit listening to this stuff, knowing that you were under a pastor who is a pervert, who is a predator, perverted pastor, and you're not going to leave that church, oh, we got some questions about you then.
That's why she takes issue with Gateway Church elders who say Morris followed proper biblical steps and a lengthy restoration process. She says,
aren't there stones involved in one of those steps in the Bible? Isn't there a couple stones involved?
her family forgave Morris, but never gave him their blessing to preach again. Morris claims they did.
I think that the leaders can get caught.
Give them their blessing to preach again. You shouldn't walk out in the open again.
Caught up in feeling like it's our responsibility to protect God, and it's not. Their responsibility is to protect the people.
Gateway Church elders say since the resolution of this 35-year-old matter, there have been no other moral failures. Pastor Robert has walked in purity and has placed accountability measures and people in his life. The matter.
Let's just take a look at this. Since the resolution of this 35-year-old, let's just remind you, this happened over 3.5 decades, almost 4 decades ago. I mean, this thing's old. He's been walking in purity and holiness ever since then. There have been no other moral failures. Believe us. We knew about this and didn't say anything, but we want you to believe us now.
5-year-old matter, there have been no other moral failures. Pastor Robert has walked in purity and has placed accountability measures and people in his life. Matters.
Accountability measures. The accountability measure. Hey, watch me and make sure I don't do anything stupid again. Take the TV out of my hotel room so they don't see the kind of things that I'm looking at. Make sure you put a little lock on my phone so I don't look up things that I shouldn't look at. This guy's got a serious problem. Usually those kind of problems don't go away with biblical counseling and praying or psychotherapy. Usually when you're this far gone, you stay far gone for the rest of your life. The matter's been properly disclosed to church leadership.
It's been properly disclosed to church leadership.
That's Old Testament verse. Let me show you New Testament verse.
Morris did not preach Saturday.
Thank
He'd
you.
already.
Oh, thank you. Please do. With the precious blood of Christ, you can see on the bottom right there, as of a lamb without blemish and without spot.
He announced plans to turn over church leadership to his son next spring.
Oh yeah, we want your son to be the leader now. God. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I just had to cover that. And just so you know, I found this guy's YouTube channel, Pastor Robert Morris, and I looked at his last video, which is, go to videos. This is his last video. God's love has no limits, from 7 days ago. There's the guy right there. I've got my reveal YouTube dislike button enabled. There's only 3 dislikes with 380 likes. And if I go to the newest comment first, this man is a, you know what, and a disgusting excuse for a human. God will not forgive you for this crime. Look at that. Why do you love acting like Satan? Just go to jail to be atoned. Yeah, that's right. That's exactly what it is. He's a PEDO. He should not be stepping down. He should be stepping into an orange jumpsuit and into a jail cell forever, in my opinion. What's your opinion? What do you think? Should God have mercy on him? Should we all have mercy on him? Well, should he continue to be a pastor? What's wrong with the minds of the people who are in the congregation? Why are they staying around? Why did they push this under the rug? Is there more to be revealed here? I bet there is. Leave your thoughts about this for the world and global thought, please, in the comment section below. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to my channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, share it with everybody you know. I'm just disgusted by this last thing, man. It's hard to even go on, especially when you're a dad and you think about your kids and you think, wow, what if we were in that church and they did something like that to my kid? You would lose your marbles. I will see you in the next video. Take care.